Rafael Molina Jr.
Mr. Jesus.
You were our drink master on our last video, and now we are here chatting it up.
Awesome. I've been wanting to be a part of a podcast for a very long time, and
Same.
I feel like I don't really care too much about small talk most of the times, so we're going to capitalize on thorough conversation, right?
Let's get it.
Cool, man. So, we had talked about what we're doing in this house, right?
Yeah.
And I think the point of a podcast with the higher levels of podcasts, instead of spewing bullshit, is, to really get people to think more about their lives and things that they can do, motivation, and to really see life from a higher perspective.
Gotcha.
I think that's something that, people like Joe Rogan kind of tap into here and there. Granted, he's very balanced with what he does, right?
Oh, for
I
sure.
like that. So
Sometimes,
right? I know he loves animal
Sometimes
noises,
he leans.
but he likes being controversial too.
You have to, I think.
You have to keep.
It's part of the algorithm.
It's part of the algorithm, yeah. And polarity is a big thing. We can go into polarity a little later, but
For sure.
I was thinking, like, what are we doing in this house? And how did we even get there? How did I meet you? How did I meet Mike? How did I meet Goldwave?
I'm the worst at remembering meeting, but I just remember. I remember one time when I was still living here, you coming over. I think it was something work related with you and Mike.
True.
And I met you like you were a friend of like 5 years ago. It was just like
That's how it was, right?
Just an instant. What's up, Mike? Mike appreciates you. Mike thinks you're how can I say it? Like Mike accepts you as a friend. I accept you as a friend. You know what I mean? That's always been the dynamic there, and so that's what I remember. What do you remember?
Yeah, the first time I came over to this house, I actually showed up because Mike was printing out the script for the water filter company that we're part of, right?
Yeah.
And I'm already going into my third year and doing that, and that really took our friendship to the next level because we had clicked on a musical basis years ago. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you met first?
We
Mike?
met. We met actually at the Crossroads Festival. Remember that? Right before the lockdown, like a few weeks before.
Nice.
I met him there, but we had been like, "Hey, awesome tune," on Instagram stories.
That was
February of 2020. That's right. So we're already 3.5 years later.
Nice. Okay.
And so we had been chatting. And he would do his guitar stuff and his multimedia stuff, and include you too as Goldwave, right? And I was always liking it. Nice. And I remember one time he put on a story, a little walkthrough of this house, and I was like, "There's got to be something to this guy that I don't know, right?" So I was really desperate then because I found out that the mom of my daughter and I were going to be expecting my daughter. We found that around then.
Your first
kid, my first and only kid.
Okay,
right?
okay.
She's going to be 2 in a few weeks, by the way.
Nice.
So I was really desperate, and I reached out. I was like, "Bro, please, bro, I kind of want to know what's going on." But really, the framing of that conversation was remember, we were locked down, okay? So we met, and then a few months later, I started roasting at Las Ramblas and the lounge side, which is Boquerón now, right?
Yes.
I befriended the Limas brothers, and I'm pretty tight with them. I'm tight with the Terras owners, and
Great people.
Great people. And I very much value culinary arts and mixology. I love it. Nice. I love it so much. It's such a big part of my livelihood. So one day I was roasting, and then I just see Mike walking by. And then I see him through the big window there overseeing Washington Street. And I flag him down.
You still didn't know him, or you had already been talking to him?
Remember, I had met him at the Crossroads.
Oh, this is after.
Yeah, this was a couple months after.
Got it.
I flag him down and I wave him down. I said, come on here, man. And I'm in the middle of roasting, so I explained the whole process. Show him the green, show him all the different kinds of, not the green coffee, not the marijuana, bro. Show him my green, And then I explained the different innate flavors in them and all this stuff. I said, look, this is what I'm doing here. I'm going to take it to this roast level. I'm going to take it like 9 minutes in, and then I'm going to put in the cooling tray. And I did it all. We're kicking it for like, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then towards the end.
Did you taste it? Did you taste your...
I don't remember. Did you taste it, Mike? No, right? I didn't brew anything?
No.
Because you were kind of on the go, but...
Just showing the
I don't
process.
think you had anything ready.
I didn't have anything ready.
You were just starting the roasting process.
I had just started the roasting process, and I didn't have the gear to brew something up at the time, right? I had just started roasting in there while everything was shut down. So whatever that happened, but the thing is, what are the odds that I'm so desperate to try to find an opportunity to provide for my family, knowing that I have a child on the way, baby on the way, and he's walking by to visit a friend who was rooming upstairs. Anthony, y'all remember Anthony?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. That guy, he took such good care of me when I was occupying that space there. Every time he smelled the coffee, he would come down and offer me clarified limeade. He would share the vegetarian Caribbean dishes he would curate just for me because I was mostly vegetarian at the time, right? I changed that in January. I'm back to a full omnivore, and I love it.
January this year?
January this year, yeah.
So wait, real quick, how long were you?
It was pescatarian vegetarianism for about a decade.
Wow.
So a little out of high school, I
So
graduated.
no beef, no chicken, just
I didn't
fish
have-
and veggies.
I didn't have beef for a decade, bro.
Wow.
The first amount of beef I had this year, bro, I think I cried, dog.
What was it that you ate for the first time?
What was
they
it?
they kind of say that after you're vegetarian for a while, you got to kind of be careful, right? With
Yes.
how you're introduced meat back.
I definitely got the runs, bro, because my body wasn't acclimated to it anymore, right? But I got...
It was worth it, I bet.
The first beef that I ate, I think it was the mole de ribeye at freaking Terras, bro.
Never had it, but that sounds amazing.
Bro. So, yeah, I thought if I'm going to do this for beef, I'm going to go all out.
Got it.
And so I mostly consume beef these days as my main source of protein instead of legumes and stuff.
What kind of differences have you like noticed in your body and your mind and your thinking? Is there any?
Most definitely. So I'm trying to figure out if it's, getting out of a difficult relationship coupled with my dietary choices starting in January and kind of rebirthing of who I am.
Got it.
That has put me into just a better lifestyle, where overall my health, energetically, spiritually, physically, is better.
You're in a better place.
In a better place emotionally, right? So, but I do think going back to a normal omnivorous diet has helped me immensely because I feel stronger. I feel like my thoughts are so much clearer, sharper. My creativity is there. I'm just about done with the mapping of my first LP, first full-length album as a singer-songwriter.
Oh wow!
And you will go into that a little later in the second segment.
100%.
But a lot of it has to do with, discipline and dietary choice. I really think so.
It kind of gets you on a more, I guess, on a more clear, defined path, maybe. I always heard something about like something in the fat.
That is beautiful.
It's super vague, right? But meat has fat. There's no fat in vegetarian stuff. I always also feel like they just put misinformation out, bro. Like, and people are scared of fat.
Yeah. Fear tactics.
Right.
And it deprives so many people of brain nutrients. They're all freaking scrawny and starving themselves to death. We were not made to live off of salads. I'm going to be honest about that.
You're right.
We weren't.
As
a matter of fact, the first thing you should prioritize with any consumption of any edible thing is protein. Period.
That's your start.
That's your start. And I don't start eating until around 11:30 or 12. And then I don't eat after like 6, 7 most of the time.
2 meals a day?
So I'll have 1 or 2 meals a day. If I have one meal, I go so hard, like a pound of ground beef, grass-fed, grass-finished. That's what I eat. The patties from Sam's
Hell
Club. And I save all of the animal fat.
For what?
To cook with it, baby. Stop eating seed oils. Seed oils are a big reason why we have all these health problems with
Really?
obesity. Seed oils and everything, bro. Potato chips and all that. Did you know that Buffalo Wild Wings actually uses beef fat to fry all their stuff?
No.
Hell yeah.
And that's good?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
You know, we've been lied to about
Who did you say? Buffalo Wild Wings?
Buffalo Wild Wings, bro.
And they're the only ones
I'm
that do
straight up telling. Yeah.
How do you know that, if you don't mind me asking?
That's a good question, right? We know it for getting screwed up and like throwing up later, right? That's what we know Buffalo Wild Wings for, and the highness. But
I love Buffalo Wild
Yeah,
Wings. Just Buffalo Wild Wings.
dude, it's
Pretty
all
good.
done in beef tallow. So there was vegetarians that were eating fries and started trying to sue them and stuff.
Oh my god.
They never said
They
that
never
they use vegetable
disclosed.
oil. They never disclose it, you know. But I want to go there.
Are they
now.
still doing it now?
I believe so.
That's like a part of their secret.
I mean, I'm not gonna go to Harlingen just to go to Buffalo Wild Wings,
I
right?
have, but because they show UFC events.
But they show UFC events, and you're into that.
Yes.
They remodeled it, huh?
Wow, I haven't been there in a minute, so I didn't know.
How
that.
about we go soon? You know.
We should all go.
Yeah. So
We should all go.
Now, regarding grains, though, and since we're talking about dietary
Yes.
stuff, I didn't think we were gonna go into this, but that's cool. I only consume grains in the form of pizza.
Okay.
Wendy's if I'm buzzed and want a quick meal,
Wendy's grains.
like burger buns from Wendy's,
Got it.
you know, like
Okay.
a little meal. $5
Okay.
was it the biggie
The
bag?
the $5 bag. Yes.
$5 bag.
I'm guilty of thinking that that's a good deal, but you're probably better off just getting a normal thing. But anyway.
I know, right? Sounds good in the moment, bro. So, but mostly the grains I consume are fermented and distilled and aged in the form of whiskey.
Okay. Drink.
Or beer once in a
Drink.
while. I'm surprised I'm actually drinking beer. I rarely drink beer now.
When I think of grains, my first thing is rice. Is rice a grain?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. That's all I think of when I think of grains. But
Interesting.
grains is in a lot of things.
Well,
Is
yeah,
that-
dude.
is that
I mean,
dumb
think
for me
about
to ask?
Think about bread. you
Bread has
know?
grains.
For sure, yeah.
Grains.
Grains. You're thinking about wheat, flour, you know,
Got it.
grass like the vegans eat, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think you know, it would be a good thing to find out, when did veganism start?
a
Was
good
it like
question.
was it a marketing ploy for something? What is the start of veganism?
So I can speak for myself. I think it's a better thing to do as a
Please.
guest, right?
Yes.
So I first got into vegetarianism for ethical reasons. I didn't want to be, you know, eating cows and eating chickens. I saw
The way they do it.
the way they do it and the way that, you know, they're sentient beings just like us, right?
Yes.
And then I just changed my diet and I almost died from lack of nutrition. I almost
Jesus.
died. I was just eating a lot of grapefruit and like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and green tea and smoking a lot of cannabis at the time. This was a decade ago.
So that's the thing about going vegetarian. It's like people want to do it for the moral aspect,
Yes.
which I totally understand and respect. But then it's like once you get in it, it's such a hard thing to keep up because all around you, no restaurant is catering to you.
It's pretty tough.
Unless you grow vegetables and you're with a partner that's also about it and
Correct.
right, because
Yes.
you can be doing it, but then you can maybe have a partner who doesn't care about that, and that's fine. But you find yourself, or at least whenever I've tried to do it, I find myself just sliding and sliding and sliding
sure.
because it's hard to keep up. Pescatarianism,
It's a lot better.
I was there with you.
Yes.
Because I tried it for a year. That was the first thing I ever tried. Once I became morally like conscious, and it became heavy on me. Like,
Yeah.
fuck the cows, the chickens. I
Yeah.
think just like you, bro. They're beings. They're animals. Like, I see my cat, you know, and I love my cat. I can probably see a chicken and think the same thing. I'm not around them. Same thing with cows or anything that we eat, and it sucks. It sucks. I really think that it sucks, but
You know,
I'm guilty.
the biggest reason why I went back into full omnivorous dietary lifestyle
Health.
is definitely for health reasons, and I realized that we were given domain of this planet, and this life is based upon sacrifice. And if we're at the top and we were created in our creator's image, and all of our ancestors leading up to this point partook in the sacrifice of animal consumption, and that's what we need to do.
It's just a part of the system.
It's just a part of
of
life.
the human experience.
It is, and to be completely straight up about it, and this is gonna irk some people. Vegetarianism, by eating a lot of vegetables and grains and legumes and stuff like the leafy greens, there's so many defense properties in these plants that aren't fruits. You know, I'm talking about like roots and the main plants themselves, all those stuff. Loaded in oxalates, loaded in all these things that naturally defend themselves from other predators that you just get loaded up with.
And that's good?
Hell no. You're not supposed to be eating this shit on
Okay, I
the.
got
You know what I'm saying? So, and the bioavailability. The
Bioavailability.
This beer's hitting me, right? Because I had an old fashioned
Hey,
before.
cheers, baby.
Nice.
Cheers. The thing is, to be straight up about all of this, the bioavailability of nutrients in plants is not anything.
What we think it
It's
is?
not what you think it is. You do not retain all of that. Eating straight animal proteins and all the stuff that's in there goes straight into you. Okay?
And it's needed.
And it's needed. That's why. Have you ever had grass-fed beef? Just pure grass-fed beef with nothing else? Have you ever had that?
I'm sure I have. I just did not. I was just not conscious enough to take it in as an experience,
Okay.
you know, and really think about it. So I don't have a reference point of like differences.
So I remember the first time I had grass-fed and grass-finished beef. This was probably about a month ago or
Was
so.
it at a restaurant or you made it?
No, it was grass-fed or organic grass-fed and grass-finished beef patties.
Got it.
I cooked up a whole pound of them because they're third-pound patties, right? I
So
usually
3?
eat that. So 3 of them in a big skillet, right? Cooked them up.
Did you
And
make
I-
like sliders?
No, I don't. I just eat it straight
Just
up.
straight.
Maybe a little mustard, maybe a little hot sauce, bare bone stuff. I eat very primally. So I cooked them up and had heard when you eat grass-fed and grass-finished beef for the first time, you're gonna feel a high that you've never felt in your life.
What?
So I went all in. I didn't have anything else. I just had that. I didn't even drink anything, dude. I felt so high. I felt so high for a whole 24 hours. It was mind blowing, bro. Bring that out. Bring that out.
Me too, bro.
We're talking about grass-fed beef. Here we go.
I'm
HEB.
dead
Get your
serious
shit
about
now.
this. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. It was so insane because I hadn't felt anything remotely like close to that in many years.
What is the science behind that?
I don't know. But I was
very
cooking the
interested.
beef for the first time, and you smell the chlorophyll off of this stuff. You smell the chlorophyll, bro.
Shit, bro. I'm very interested in having this experience. now.
And I recommend that for anybody. I genuinely
Let
do.
me ask you a question. Since you had that, is it like drugs where you just want that and nothing else?
It's not like drugs, because with drugs, you shouldn't have it, but you want it, right? But with this,
It's good
you know
for you.
you should have it, and you have it. It's just a financial kind of thing that you
Exactly.
need.
That's where I'm going.
You know what I mean?
Are you in on it, or is it like a treat that you
I'm
that
in
you-
on it.
Okay,
That's
it's
the only
part of the
beef I eat
lifestyle now.
Yeah, that changed my lifestyle. That's the only beef I
Holy
eat now.
shit, my life's about to change.
And so, you know how people like steak and eggs?
Yeah,
So
never had it, to be honest with you, but I know it's prevalent.
I'll usually do a pound of that, so 3 of those patties, and then like 4 jumbo eggs. And I fry the eggs in beef tallow that I've clarified from the day before.
Beef tallow is beef fat.
Beef fat, correct.
What's tallow?
Tallow is just a fancy name for fat, just like lard is for pig fat. You know what I mean?
Tallow.
So tallow sounds like a beautiful freaking
Yeah,
word, and
it really
it's beautiful.
does.
I
It
just
really
grab
does.
tallow and I just eat that shit straight up, bro.
Reminds me of like lavender, you know? It's one of those words.
Very much
Tallow.
so. Tallow.
I like it.
Talosico. Talosico. Cool, man. You know, one thing that's crazy, bro, is remember, I was so desperate to, you know, when we first met, you first saw me, you were living in this house.
Mm-hmm.
I showed up because I had asked Mike, I was like, bro, you know, what do you do that, you know, where you can afford a beautiful house like this? He was like, well, you know, we've been working with water filtration, me, my brother and I, for, you know, years now. Mox. For years now. And you know what? Come over to the house soon. Just let me know when you're ready, but come over soon, and you know, I'll give you the script and I'll go over some stuff with you, and I would love to have you on the team. And I had no idea what the hell I would was gonna get myself into, right?
But you were in on it.
But I was in on it, you know, and I didn't take him up on it right away. I didn't take him up on it.
You heard him out.
I heard him out. Oh,
You
know.
read the script.
No, this was okay. I'm sorry. That was before I
Okay.
got the script, right?
Okay.
It was like a month or so. Hey, Moxley. Moxley's here. Go over there,
Big
Papa.
guy.
Go in your bed, Papa.
I hope he comes out in the video. Moxley.
Yeah. So, and you know, and the mother of my child's the one that was like, contact Mike. You know, go. Come on. We need something. You know, to make sure that we're stable for the baby. So, I just hit him up.
At this point, are you working somewhere else?
I was
Are
working
you-
something else. You know, I was doing coffee catering, and I picked up just a freaking call center gig from home because we were able to work from home.
Yeah.
I loathed it, but it worked. I developed skill sets, though, that were invaluable. I learned
yeah.
patience.
Oh yeah.
I learned efficiency and how to help people in a confined amount of time. Because you know how they want calls to be a certain length. So
You know what? Those experiences also teach you what you don't want.
tell me what I didn't want to. Very good point, right?
Yes.
So then fast forward, you're here, living here, show up to the house. He prints out the script. He was like, all right, you done the train next Monday? And I was like, I'm down. I'll learn it. And he was like, well, I learned like 1/3 of it, and then we'll rehearsed it, got to the script. And yeah, so I learned the second third, and then I learned the rest of it too, all within like a span of a week or so, right?
Memorized.
Memorized, and then with, you know, testing the different water samples, sharing it with the homeowners and whatnot, because we test water quality, and then if we find that there's a big time water problem or even traces of a water problem, we'll offer a free recommendation of water filtration services, right? That's what the whole thing leads to when we find there's a water problem. If not, then
Which everybody
Well,
needs, by the way. Your water's hard.
Yeah.
Your water's hard.
only one house that I tested didn't have the worst water problem.
And were you honest with them?
I was honest with them.
That's fire.
And I was very confused because all the water I had tested before and trained with was crazy
Terrible.
bad, hard water, chlorinated mess. And this house was like 2 grains per gallon, almost bottled water quality, but
what
with chlorine.
What do you think was happening there?
But okay, I have no freaking idea, but I bring this up all the time. I said, if you're one in the 250, one out of 300 homes that has semi-decent water, you're lucky, you know. But it's a little pocket in Edinburgh off of the Monte Cristo exit going towards like North Edinburgh. Yes, North Edinburgh.
Got it.
And
If you're there, you're lucky.
dude, it was like one of my first weeks or months with the company too, so I was so thrown off by it. And then, but the biggest thing is I didn't realize that I was getting into sales. I thought, I'm just gonna do a water test. Oh, dude, this is effing sales, bro. I don't know what the hell I was getting myself into. Right?
Had you ever done sales before?
Hell no, it was just service, like coffee stuff and stuff like that, which we'll get into a little later, right? But the thing is, sales is so crazy because if you think about salesmen or salespeoples, I gotta say that, and I get canceled. Is that
Sales them.
Yeah, I'm inclusive, bro. I may be a cis white male, but I'm no sissy. But hey, I love all you people, man. Don't get triggered. All right, don't ban me. I've been canceled before, man, but it was the truth, right? But truth hurts, as you know.
We're all born canceled, baby.
So said Confucius, right? That truth hurt. That hurted the truth. Hurted the truth. But yeah, the thing is, us humans, we want to be talked to a certain way. Think about the players, bro. The guys that always had the chicks. I always have the chicks. They know how to talk to them. It's psychology. It's smooth. They're convincing. They got a certain kind of confidence. They've got something of value. Obviously, it all adds up in these women's eyes, right? They fall victim to.
I think they like leadership. So if you lead them somewhere,
but the word choice and tonality is
for
big.
sure, 100%.
That's one big thing about sales. But if you think about a classic salesperson, icky, ooh, hell no. Do you want to ever step foot in a freaking used car lot?
I don't want to get sold. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So here's the thing. Here's the problem with classic salespeople, and where it should go, which is where I'm at. Okay, classic salespeople is like, I gotta sell this person. I need a freaking check. No, I'm gonna use this word. I'm gonna do this. They're gonna give me this rebuttal, but I'm ready to go. I rehearsed this. You know what I'm saying?
100.
But if you frame it, instead of it being you trying to convince someone, you frame it all about them, and maybe I can help them, but just have the right tonality, let them know I care, and be more consultative about the whole thing. There's things that align energetically, cosmically, and service like that completely make it a completely different operation, because you're truly serving someone.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of trying to make a freaking check or make a commission, you're helping someone, and by thinking like that, you actually make much more money.
For sure.
Because they trust you genuinely.
And it doesn't hurt that your actual service is something needed, right?
Exactly.
It would be different if you're trying to sell like bracelets, right? That remember those bracelets that
the Armstrong and shit.
No, the bracelets. Yeah, the balance.
That was a proven scam.
Like,
interesting.
Imagine being a salesman of that, but I get exactly what you're saying. Like it definitely helps a lot when you believe in the product, when you know that the product works, and when you know that it's actually going to help them. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. So, and psychology is interesting because psychos are mostly the ones that study psychology. And I'm kind of psychotic. I didn't find myself into it, but I found myself a victim to it, right? So now it's fascinating because we want to be talked to a certain way, bro. We want to be talked to a certain way. And if, maybe if some people are too aggressive or too pushy and all that, we're going to be repulsed by it. But if you're careful with your tonality and the word choice, it really changes human interaction. Yeah. Now, in the world of service and sales, that's very important. Now, most of my experience comes from, hospitality. So, coffee primarily being the thing, right? And it's really different because people already know what they want there for the most part. Sometimes you need to do a little educating or kind of curate a beverage for the palate of the person or what they're wanting, right? Yeah. Now, with sales, there's solution aware and there's solution unaware. A lot of the raza down here freaking
Unaware.
cooking with tap water, bro. And I'm talking per cup, let's say like this. If I got a sample of hard water, which is like 98% of the homes here in the valley,
That would be hard.
dude, you separate and settle all those impurities. They gather like this, right around Mike.
Absolutely.
They gather and settle like this, bro, which is like a fifth
That
or
amount,
so.
actually.
Or like this. In some houses, it's this much.
Yep.
Think about what that'll do in the long run,
For sure.
right? So the beauty with soft water is that you get bottled water through the entire house. And if it's a new home, it stays new indefinitely because there's no wear and tear or clogging of the home's
Pipes.
arteries, right? The pipes, the home's arteries.
Hell yeah.
The bad cholesterol is
Just-
hardness.
It's things that you don't even think about, right? Because you don't see it.
The thing is, it's where some problems that you have from the get-go, you can see, the problem. This is more of a chronic kind of thing. So, but by separating these invisible impurities, you're able to say, oh crap, I do need to do something about it.
Quick question. Let's say I'm moving into a house that I know, is 10 years old, 9 years
Mhm.
old. If I and it didn't have one of these systems. If I were to put one of these systems in there, is it gonna kind of like fix all the wear and tear that it had? Like, is it a good option for somebody to do that? Once they move into a house that's old, or
You know what? That's a damn good question, and I'm gonna answer your question with with a question itself, right?
I love questions.
I'm getting a little hungry, but let's wrap this up. So, now, if you drink tap water your whole life and you find out the beauty of bottled water, would you keep just drinking tap water?
It'd be hard to.
Exactly. When you find out about clean water, you need to stick to clean water. But it's time to eat, right?
I think so, bro. I think so. I haven't had anything since 3 p.m. today, brother. What do we have? What do we have today?
All right, let's go get some pizzas. I made some a little earlier. Let's get right to it, guys.
Guys, we're going to cut right now to a pizza segment. Fuck yeah. Let's get it.
All right, guys, Rafael here. We're going to do something a little different. It's not going to be drinks this time. We're going to be focusing on cooking. So what we have right here, Mike actually prepared his signature ribeye, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it up because we're going to do something a little special today. We're actually going to be doing a pizza segment, but we're going to do something special too that you probably don't know about. Okay? Remember, I'm a lefty, so I'm a little slow. So we had these resting for about 6 minutes. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. So now Mike is known for his freaking ribeyes, but we're gonna go into it in another episode, all right? We can't go into it today, but you're gonna have to stay tuned to find out his recipe for his infamous ribeyes. Okay, we're gonna do it like that. Look at that. Oh my God, it was about what, like 130 in each one? Oof, each side. Okay.
You take it off at 130.
Got it for 130, and of course it was still cooking and whatnot.
That's that nice medium rare.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and get that right there, and do one more cut right here, and then we're good to go. All right, so this is what we're gonna lead to. So we have the best freaking spread ever right here. This is the Boar's Head Chipotle Gourmet. So it's a gourmet mayonnaise. It has chipotle. It's a chipotle mayo basically. And it is the greatest thing I've ever had in my life. So we have this. We have some romaine lettuce right here. We have some pickled jalapenos. You know we all love that. It smells like church's bag, right? And we have some Munster cheese right here. The ribeye, of course. But what are we gonna put this in? We're gonna put this in. Just kidding. We're gonna put it in this dough right here, and we're gonna make what is called a puccia, which is you get pizza dough, you kind of flatten it, and then you put it in your pizza oven, and then you have this right here. We're gonna go ahead and cut into it and make a effing deli sandwich out of it. How freaking awesome does that sound? Let's just preheat this super quick, man. Okay, so we have the dough for the puccia. So remember, this is pizza dough, but just flattened out a little bit, cooked, ready to go. I'm gonna preheat it, but I'm also gonna preheat the freaking pizzas that we had. I made these a little earlier. Check this out. This is an American sourdough interpretation of a classic Neapolitan margherita pizza. I know there's a lot to say, but that's what it is. And then we have a New Haven tomato pie. Oh my freaking God, look at that. Hell yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw the puccia in there and then we're gonna throw the pizzas. We're just gonna heat them up. So I made them a little ready. Throw the puccia in there. Now we're gonna get the margarita. We're gonna throw in there too. And now we're gonna get the New Haven plain tomato pie. This is very special. I'll explain it a little later. I'm gonna put that right there, okay? All right, let's see what's going on here. All right, check out. We're still gonna heat this up a little bit more. I'm just gonna turn it a little bit. And let's check on the tomato pie. Oh my freaking gosh. Oh, dude. I'm gonna explain the importance of this freaking pizza in about 5 minutes, man, okay? I'm gonna explain that. All right, let's go ahead and check on the puccia dough, okay? You can hear some sizzling. Look at the tomato pie. Look at the tomato pie. Look at that. Oh my God. Okay, this is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here. We're gonna turn these. Turn this just a little bit. Ovens are a little irregular with their heat distribution. That's why you should spin them in any oven, okay? Let's go ahead and cut this sucker open. Check this out. This is actually freaking crazy. So I'm gonna pierce it right here. I'm gonna go in there. Woo! Man. Oh my God. It's hot as hell. It got hot real quick, actually. Look at that. Woo! Oh my God. So let's go ahead and get right to it. So we're gonna start with our spread. Okay. Okay, just gonna put it around there. Oops, that's good. Trust me, we want that. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start just putting the steak in there. Okay. How should we do it? No, we should do it like this. I'm gonna put all of it in there because it's gonna be effing loaded to the brim, dude. Seriously. Okay.
Steak came up.
Michael, this looks absolutely gorgeous, dude. Great job. I'm very much looking forward to breaking down how you do your steak technique in another episode, though. We'll make sure to go over it. So we're gonna put the moisture cheese in here. Okay, so the 2 slices for the sandwich. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut up some pickled jalapenos. Okay, I'm gonna put that in there. Probably gonna do, no, we'll probably do all of them now. But remember, we're using a chipotle mayo already, so it is spicy already. So we don't wanna go too hard and throw this beautiful sandwich off. So remember, we got medium rare, or is it rare?
I'd say medium.
And medium rare, right? Medium rare ribeye, very simple. Pickled jalapenos, Munster cheese. We have that artisan chipotle mayo. And then we're just gonna do a little bit of fresh greens. We're gonna do some romaine in here just to finish off, okay? Okay. Don't judge me with my technique. I'm more of a coffee guy. But you do want the fresh bite. That's what really makes a puccia, okay?
That's amazing.
Okay. Now remember, we're gonna share this with 4 people here. So I am going to cut this sandwich up a bit. There you go. So we got our rinsed lettuce leaf, romaine. We're gonna close this up. Look at that puccia. Look at this. You remember, this is pizza dough. This is sourdough pizza dough from De Amor, which is my pizza company that I branded a few months ago. And I thought about it, I was like, I do all of this from the heart. It's the De Amor. Boom, there's the name, De Amor. This is all done from the heart. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna film some live reactions here actually, okay? I'm gonna cut it in half and then into fourths, okay? I might have to use this actually. Okay, we'll do that. And then the pizzas that we have in the oven, we're gonna try that on camera. A little later though. Okay. All right. Now, here's a plain tomato pie. I'm gonna put it right here. Definitely looks a little well done, but that's how they like it in New Haven. And then the margarita right here. Cool. Boom. This is Neapolitan-ish. Neapolitan-ish in nature. And you see what's really special about these two is that this is a modern American take on Neapolitan, and this is a modern take on a New Haven style. I think New Haven might be even more important than New York style, and I'll explain it in just a bit. We're gonna cut these suckers up, we're gonna cut the puccia up, and then we're gonna get some live reactions from George and Jesus, okay? All right, so we're gonna see the live reactions of the first puccia ever consumed by Jesus, George,
This looks
and
amazing.
yeah, I know, I'm at a loss for words. Let's see his reaction, just go for it, bro.
Let's go, man.
Big bite, let's go, baby, let's go. Hell yeah.
It's fucking good, man. Alright, I'm ready.
Go for it, baby. Let's go. Bigger bite, bro. Bigger bite. Yeah, I want you to get some of this down here. Get some of that.
Oh my god, brother.
Look, his eyes are still closed. That's how you know it's good. I'm ready to go. Ready? Let's go. Yo.
That's flavor that never ends, man. Wow.
It's the best shit I've had.
It's fresh. It's flavorful.
Super flavorful. It has everything
Wow.
in this shit. Holy moly.
All right, so we just finished our puccia sandwiches with the ribeye. Oh my freaking god! What's the verdict, George?
It was a 10 fucking 10. Excuse my language, but damn, that was the best meal I've had all fucking the whole year, probably the last freaking 3 years, maybe even more. 10 years.
Yeah. All right. How about Jesus?
Same thing, guys. 10 out of 10. If we weren't going to have these beauties next, I would have probably wanted to eat that whole puccia. Puccia?
Puccia, that's
Puccia.
right. Yeah.
I would have eaten the whole damn thing.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's cut these up because we need to enjoy this and continue our conversation, actually. All right. So let's go ahead and start with the margarita. And we're going to cut it into 6 slices. That's what I usually like doing for these personal pies. So separate that. And we're going to go across right here. Okay. And then right here. All right. We're going to set it right here. Oops. Oopsie. There's some basilico right there. Let's cut the plain tomato pie right now. Now, I know plain sounds like it might taste plain, but this is a flavor bomb because it's just basically 2 or 3 flavors all in. It is such a flavorful pizza. So let's go ahead and cut right into it. Listen. So New Haven pizza is known for being a little bit more well done than most pizza. But gosh, it has so much freaking flavor. There's so much artisan takes on the New Haven pizza, man. There you go, boom. Okay. Remember, this one's a more well done pizza, so we're gonna evaluate it as such. And it is a very important pizza, okay? Let me go ahead and just slide this on here. There you go. All right, now what I'm gonna do is just arrange it so that we can go ahead and enjoy this live on the camera, Jesus. And then we're gonna go ahead and get back into our conversation because we're right into it. All right, guys, so we went ahead and we portioned out the pizza, sliced it and everything, and we're gonna have live reactions with the pizza. Jesus has never tried Deadwood pizza before, and I'm freaking stoked for it because you're gonna see his live reaction for the first time in real time, no bluff, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it.
All right, guys, we're back here. We're going to eat this amazing pizza. I'm going to let Ralph tell us a little bit about this. I believe we're starting with the margarita.
Correct. So this is your first time having my pizza, actually, right?
First time having your pizza. First time having This pizza, I rarely have margarita pizza, so I'm excited, brother.
Cool. So we have two different pizzas we're gonna have, which are both extremely important when it comes to pizza culture. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with margarita pizza. This is an American take on margarita pizza. So it has mozzarella, there's a little bit of Parmesan, Italian tomatoes, and some basil and olive oil. And it's done on a sourdough crust. I'm a sourdough baker exclusively. Okay? Let's go ahead and take a bite together. Cheers.
Let's go, brother. Thank you
try
for
it out.
doing this. Here we
Ready?
go.
Mm-hmm. George said it's tasty as F.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. What a good flavor, right?
Wow, brother.
So, a lot of people ask me,
Wow.
well, compared to Dodici, how's your pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do mostly wood-fired pizza as well, right? Well, actually, they use gas, but while I do fired pizza as well, I have a very different approach to it. It's mostly with American ingredients where everything that they use is imported from Italy, right?
okay.
So the flour, it's mostly San Antonio milled flour
That you use.
that I use, and it has some white wheat flour as well. So it doesn't change the color, but it has a little bit of that wheat flavor, as you can kind of taste it. Just a little bit. It's like 7% of the dough.
Does the job, brother.
The
It's
salt
fantastic.
that I use is Celtic sea salt.
Okay.
Best salt in the world. It has Italian date tomatoes. Usually you want to use plum tomatoes for your pizzas. They tend to have the best flavor profile for
Okay.
a pizza. But these are date tomatoes because I wanted to prove that you could get any kind of effing tomato as long as it's processed right and make a freaking pizza with it. I got them for 88 cents at Ollie's. All right? I'm here to prove a point. Why am I going to spend $9 on a little kind of tomatoes when I can spend 88 cents on Italian tomatoes that are of a different kind of tomato variety, right? So
Brains. Big brains.
Big brain. Big brain academy, baby. So, yeah, so that's what we're tasting right now. And obviously it's pretty balanced. You taste a little of that Parmesan in there too. You taste the mozzarella, you taste the tomatoes. And then what makes, I guess, my pizza operation stand out from all the other operations around here is the fact that I'm exclusively a sourdough baker. I've been cultivating my own sourdough starter for about 2 years now.
Explain that to me. Go into that, because just hearing sourdough, I don't even know what to think, you know?
When you hear the word sourdough, you think a bread that's sour, and it's like, do I really want that? But it doesn't have to be sour. It's just indicating, it's indicative of a naturally cultivated and aged cultivated yeast bacteria starter, meaning you could just get some flour and water, mix them together, and the yeast has natural yeasts and bacteria in there.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the flour
Okay.
has natural bacteria and yeast on it, mostly yeast. The bacteria forms a little later. So the yeast culture forms, the strongest ones stay, the weakest ones die as the acidity starts building up with the bacteria.
Okay.
Then you get a symbiotic culture, and then you have the starter. That same starter is what I use to inoculate the dough, meaning that's like adding the yeast. I just add the starter.
Okay.
And these days, what I do is I just get an old dough ball from weeks ago or days ago, and I just mix it into the fresh flour, fresh water, and the salt.
Okay. Is that
And
something
there
that you learned from somewhere, or that was just
Yeah.
Big Brain Academy?
No, it was definitely learned, but I've experimented greatly over the past 2-ish years. I've been making pizzas for about 2 years, and I think it was a lot easier to get good at pizza making than it was to get good at coffee making. That's
Okay.
just my take. Maybe it's a maturity thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think it was a lot more of a streamlined kind of thing. Granted, there are a lot of variables with pizza as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, being experimental and playing with everything, just it's gonna teach you a lot.
Of
just
course.
trying things out, right? So that's the margarita pizza, right?
Fantastic. I finished it.
It's good and it's classic. It's not like a 100% Neapolitan style, right? It's my own thing.
Got it.
Woo!
What I'm excited for. You were telling me a little bit about this other pie. I guess let's tell our viewers here what we're about to taste next.
So, while the margarita pizza has been around for a few hundred years, thanks to Neapolitan culture, what we have right here you could pull your slice. What we have right here is the most archaic American pizza style. I think I spat over there. It's all good. The most archaic American pizza style. Okay? So, whenever we think about American pizza, we think about New York style.
I think pepperoni.
Pepperoni New York style. Right? So, now, this is more of a New Haven interpretation, which I feel is even more archaic than the modern interpretation of New York or whatever is still been around, like the slice culture, right?
I don't want to sound dumb, but when you refer to New Haven, is this like a cluster of cities, a place? I'm blanking out right now. I've heard the term New Haven, but
yeah, sorry for not explaining. So let me explain. Thanks for bringing that up. So to explain, New Haven is a city in Connecticut.
Oh, okay. It's a
and
city.
Connecticut is adjacent to New York.
Okay.
A lot of Italian immigrants that came obviously from Italy in the late 1800s. They landed in port cities, right? Mostly New York, but other port cities too. A lot of them that came into New York found themselves coming into Connecticut because of the saturation, right?
Okay.
A lot of Italians are from food producing families, right? Whether it be olives, whether it be flour millers, bakers, tomato producers,
Grapes.
Grapes, all of the beautiful stuff. Italy is absolutely gorgeous, and I know I'm gonna go there in less than a year, right? So, cheers.
Cheers to that, brother.
Cheers, man.
I can't wait for your pictures when you're out there.
So, and it's interesting because remember, we're talking about the late 1800s. This was before refrigeration was ever a thing. So these Italian immigrants that had baking backgrounds, they were going to use the skill sets they already had. I'm going to find a bakery that I could maybe buy or, with the less amount of money I had, or work at, right? So they found themselves in New Haven. We're going to focus on New Haven. And then
because this was like where they happened to cluster at?
This is where they happened to cluster at because they arrived by boat in port cities like New York, right? And then about an hour away of driving, they found themselves in New Haven, right? Which wasn't as saturated. So it really took over because there was a lot of coal ovens at the time there. There's a lot of bakeries, and they weren't really utilized. They weren't really utilized the way that Italians used them. All day long, pumping out bread and feeding the city, right?
What were they used for?
Straight up
in
bread,
America.
Bread.
Okay.
Straight up bread, but it wasn't as big of a culture. It wasn't as big of a culture as
Italy
in Europe, right?
Got it.
So now, these bakers, they started getting these job positions and buying out bakeries that were coal ovens, coal brick ovens. I'm talking about 25-foot wide freaking coal ovens. They're massive, bro. You see these little dome things,
like 18-wheeler, fucking
huge. Yeah, exactly. That's how
Jeez.
wide these freaking ovens are, right? So
it's one oven, controlled by
yes. You put the coals on one side.
I'm sorry, coal.
You put the coals on one side. You have a little ventilation.
Does that mean that this side's going to be hotter?
Exactly.
Than this side?
Exactly.
So they got to be smart about how they.
You got to be smart. You have to be
up.
observant. You have to turn the pies. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Now, the way that this pizza style came about is obviously the only ovens they had were coal ovens, right? Refrigeration wasn't a thing, so that means mozzarella's out of the question.
No cheese.
No,
Or
no
not
cheese,
the cheese
no
that we
fresh
know.
Cheese, not the
Okay.
cheese we know, right? But what cheese was available that didn't need refrigeration? Hard cheeses.
Which is like what? Like
Parmesan, Pecorino Romano, all of those kind of cheeses, right?
Okay.
So
I don't know any of these cheeses, and I'm fucking excited.
Well, like the shaker cheese, Parmesan.
Parmesan for sure.
You know
The
what
other
I'm
ones, the other ones that you said no.
So some people call it, hey, I love pecorino on my pizzas. It's
Pecorino?
like, yeah, it's
I've
like
never heard
saying
that.
I love sheep on my pizza. Pecorino is sheep in Italian. Romano is the kind of cheese. You got to say sheep cheese, right? Sheep Romano. You can't just say, I like pecorino. I like sheep. You know what I'm saying? You got to be specific about it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, a lot of these Italian immigrants in New Haven, they prefer the savory properties of the goat hard cheese, the pecorino romano. I'm sorry, the sheep cheese. Excuse me. The sheep hard cheese.
Uh-huh.
So, and to honor that, this has mostly pecorino romano on it for the cheese.
Where did you find that?
Gucci B, baby.
What? Dude,
They
they'll
have-
just have it there.
Boar's Head, pecorino romano. That's what I use usually.
Shit.
They have that there. And remember, it doesn't have mozzarella because when this pie was made,
Didn't exist.
there was no fresh cheese around. You had to have hard cheese.
They had it in Italy.
In Italy, they had it because they had dairy farms everywhere.
They come here
all
and
this nothing. They
no
had to work.
fresh cheese.
Canned tomatoes. Canning was already a thing.
Okay.
Right? Or fresh tomatoes. They're easier to grow. And then the flour, of course, they had American bread flour, a little stronger.
Mm-hmm.
They had water. Water is relatively softer there. Like we were talking about water before the little intermission we had. The water that I use in here is the Puronics water. I've been living with that filter for almost 3 years now. The one that I sell.
Clean water.
Clean water. Clean bottled water with the ideal minerals in it. So that's what I use for this. It's very much like New York or New Haven water.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of people think that it's superstition. Oh, no, the water in the dough. No, it's a gimmick and all that. No, water has a lot to do with how tight gluten structures can be. The harder the water, the tighter the gluten structure. The softer the water, the more loose it is. The minerals play into it. Trust me, I've tested it out. I didn't record it, but I have it right here.
Hell yeah.
So I do use water that has at least 1 or 2 grains per gallon for the dough. So that means that the recipes are rather replicable. And then what we have here is, remember, just a little oregano in the tomatoes, Italian tomatoes, pecorino romano, a little parmesan, a little olive oil, and American bread flour in a sourdough culture. Cheers, baby. Let's try it, man. Yeah. Oh, man. It tastes like there's more depth of flavor than this. Right or wrong? That's what I'm trying to say. So,
Like, on this one, the melted white cheese, it looks appetizing and shit. You take a bite of this red pie right here, it beats the shit out of it. What the fuck is going on?
it's the most flavor pizza out there.
Explain this to me. Why?
So here's the thing: when you think about water is dilution. The more water that's in something, the less inherent flavor properties that it has. So think about a whiskey. So if you buy, let's say, a Wild Turkey regular proof, 40% alcohol whiskey, you sip it and it's easy to drink, it's smooth, whatever. You get the 101 bourbon, for example, that's got, 10 more percent alcohol per volume. We're at like 50.5% alcohol. You taste that, whew, there's a lot more flavor because there's less water in there. The cheese in here has no water. It's all fucking flavor. Right?
Wow.
And then so the age with the lack of the water and the cultures, and then that amount of tomato and herbs, and then the sourdough, I cold proofed that for a few days in the fridge, and I cultivated that same.
What does that
culture
mean,
for 2 years.
cold proof?
So cold proofing means you make like the dough balls. you let them maybe rise for a little bit, put them in the fridge. The yeast isn't as active, so they're not really rising, but it's developing flavor. There's some bacterial growth in there. It's getting maybe a little tangy, a little floral, a little funky. You know what I'm saying? Like there's all this. So when you taste the dough, when you taste my crust, even without the toppings, you're gonna taste a lot of flavor. Right. So I'm gonna take one more bite. I'm gonna kind of break down what I'm taking. Let's do it right here. Some ASMR for the fans. Watch it. Ready? Y'all ready?
Silence.
So it's interesting because with the Neapolitan pizza, you typically push all the air to the outer crust.
Okay.
Which in Italian is called the cornicione, the crown, the outer ring. We call that the crust, but all of dough is the crust technically. It's a misnomer. So the outer crust is the crown.
Okay.
I call it the crown. One of the only guys that calls it that, but that's what it is. It's the outer crown. The outer crust is the crown. So the New Haven really doesn't have too much of an outer crust, but the Neapolitan, it tends to have a little bit more of a pronounced crust.
Why is that?
So having a pronounced outer crust holds the contents in. If you tend to have wetter ingredients like Neapolitan pizzas, have you noticed they're maybe a little soupier and whatnot? The fresh mozzarella has more moisture in it. The water comes out, and then the outer crust holds it in from pouring out. In New Haven style, you tend to have more of a dry pizza, but the dough is wetter, so you could cook it longer, and it's where it doesn't dry up like a cracker right away, but you're still able to get some charry bits because there's more water in it. So some of it will burn, and some of it will stay soft. So you get soft and crunchy with the New Haven style most of the time. So
throughout the whole pizza, you have both.
You have a little bit of both.
Hell yeah.
That's my favorite, and that's Dave Portnoy's favorite too. From One Bite Pizza Reviews.
Yeah, Barstool.
So
hell yeah.
New Haven pizza is getting very popular because of his input. It's crazy because the Margarita is known as like the original Neapolitan pizza, named after the Queen Margarita. I don't really believe that lore. A lot of geeks don't. They think because these things were done. This pizza was done before Queen Margarita came around.
Got it.
Right, and it's not the original Neapolitan pizza. Also, the marinara comes before it.
She was a marketing expert.
Exactly. So yeah, it was maybe a marketing kind of thing, but I would say that the plain tomato pie, this is the most archaic thing, and I love using ingredients here from our country.
Have you ever had that pizza anywhere?
Hell no, I'm the only one in the valley that does it.
Shit.
And anyone that's had it would wish that they could find it somewhere else. But, pizza's not the only thing that I'm really into. Coffee is a really big thing. I've been doing coffee stuff for well over a decade now, probably like 12 years, And, I mean, you're not much of a coffee guy, though, right?
I don't drink coffee. I love the smell of it. It just, for me, it gets me too amped, And okay. I just don't like the feeling, but maybe I'm drinking the wrong coffee. Maybe I'm going to get schooled right now. I'm talking about the jitters. Okay. I get like a heartbeat, like
even with
irregular.
1 cup
like just even with one couple of sips, bro. Like
interesting.
It's just not. The last time I really drank coffee, like in high school, bro. Like
interesting. That's
like high school theater, like 20 years ago. Mr. Rod.
I was gonna say Rod.
And it wasn't shout out Mr. Rod. It was mine wasn't even like coffee, bro. It was like a little bit of coffee, a lot of milk, a lot of sugar.
That's pretty wild.
It was more of the flavor that I was and the feeling of feeling older because you're drinking coffee. I'm gonna be honest. That's why I try and get back in the day.
There's one thing that I can suggest. You know, I can respect people that just don't really dig coffee. I can respect that, honestly. These days, now that I'm more mature and I'm like 50 years old now, you know, it's like Brett Marshall, my friend Brett Marshall. He was a client of mine when I would do farmers markets all the time years ago. But he would always get chai. I'd make him chai lattes, right?
Chai latte.
And so he's a tea guy. And I've thrown all the cards out so he could try things all on me, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just didn't get into it. And I get it, you know, it's not for everybody. You know, I would like it to be for everyone. I want to learn how I can let it be for everyone as much as possible, if you get me. So
For sure.
But the thing is, you could only, you know, put so much in front of someone where they just don't align with it. And I can honor that. You know what I mean? So the interesting thing about coffee is we call it coffee beans, but they're not beans at all. They're actually tropical fruits.
Tropical fruits.
Coffee is a tropical fruit, and it falls into the category. It's funny, right?
That's something new I learned today.
So it falls into the category of a drupe, drupe,
Which is what? Like,
which means a big stone-like fruit with a little bit of a fleshy exterior, much like an avocado. But it's a tropical fruit, and it ideally needs elevation for mature fruition. So the higher a coffee is grown, typically the more acidic and floral it can be, which is super cool. Because if you get some coffees from Ethiopia, they might be very berry-like in flavor and, you know, very citric and very floral.
That sounds completely
Different from what you think
foreign.
about coffee. Yeah, exactly. It sounds very foreign. And, you know, Arabica coffee actually originates from
Arabica.
Arabica. You know how people use that 100% Arabica coffee in the ads? Maybe you'll see that.
Never heard of this. Tell me.
It's a species of coffee. It's the most popular species grown on the planet. And it's not the only one consumed, though, but it's the most popular one, and it tends to be a little lighter tasting, maybe nutty, maybe chocolatey, a little fruity, a little floral, right? So most coffee consumed is Arabica coffee. And I would say maybe back in the 90s, it became a marketing term for commodity grade coffee. We use 100% Arabica coffee. Yeah, it still tastes like dirt, my guy. You know what I'm saying? It's a piece of garbage, like Beetlejuice says. So, you bag of trash. So, you know, the interesting thing, though, is that these days in the modern coffee culture that I'm a part of, I source organic coffee from small co-ops. Farmers are paid well. I pay a little bit of a premium for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're taken care of. The kids are taken care of. Communities are built. Churches, schools, you know, centers for the mothers and parents, whatever the hell, right? I'm a part of that kind of stuff because I buy that kind of coffee that supports it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's not just a freaking thing to give you a buzz on. It's not. It's not something that tastes good with cream and sugar and pumpkin spice. Although my pumpkin spice is the best you're ever gonna have, right? Maybe we'll have that next time. Yeah, Michael had it the other day actually.
Absolutely.
I would love to try that. That sounds fantastic.
We'll make a drink next
Sounds
time.
Fantastic.
Right?
Wait, you can make an alcoholic drink with that?
I can. We can do a pumpkin spice espresso martini. How does that sound? for soon?
October, baby.
We're already gonna be nearing. Hey, fall.
Love it.
My daughter was born on the 22nd of September, so she's basically bringing in the fall, right?
Sheesh, hell yeah.
The fall is the rise of spice.
Uh-huh.
So, look, you know,
Not Ice Spice for all of you out there.
yeah. So the interesting thing about coffee is that there's such a diverse flavor world that you can have with coffee. The incredible thing is that there's thousands of flavor components that that compile the final flavor of a cup of coffee. Thousands of chemicals. And
Thousands?
Thousands.
You're not being dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic.
Thousands.
Thousands, right? And then with those thousands, there's a whole lot of them that you can control through selecting the kind of plant, coffee plant, the variety, how it's fermented at the farm, how you roast it, how you brew it, how you assemble it, the kind of water that you use. All of these things are variables that bring out different elements of coffee.
That must be done at a certain time while it's happening, or
It's all in the moment. Because I can get, for example, I'm mostly using a coffee from Peru right now. It's organic. It's done by 138 women.
where do you get it?
I have importers that I buy from.
Nice.
They import it. I don't need to deal with the importing papers. They already have it at a warehouse, and then I buy them from the importers. I don't import just yet. So they deal with them, but I know it's organic, it's fair trade, it supports all of these communities, and it's 138 women that produce this lot of coffee.
Like literally, it's 138 women.
Literally 138 women
make up this company.
Correct. For all of the ones that produce this one crop
Coffee.
that's
Got
all
it.
like blended together and done from this area of Peru. So now, for example, they harvest it and it all tastes the same. All of that crop that goes to different roasters, because I'm a roaster, right? And they roast it different ways and brew it different ways, and it tastes different everywhere. That's the artistry behind roasting. You could bring out different elements. You can make it more acidic. You can make it more chocolatey and nutty. You could take it darker. You can make it taste like a Starbucks cup. If you take it to like a dark roast, you could make it a little tangy, like a modern coffee shop. They tend to have more tangy coffees. Mm-hmm. And I like to lean towards something that's balanced, where you get a balance of acidity and sweetness or bittersweetness, something right in the middle. Every cup of coffee that you have from me tends to have a balance. And if there's any other roastery that I know that has a similar philosophy, it's Brown Coffee in San Antonio, their original roastery, and I'm friends with the head coordinator of the roastery.
Brown Coffee
Company.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
If anybody's ever tried it, let us know what you think.
Brown is the real deal. And their roastery is the new roastery is opening up in Marshall, Texas. I'm gonna go soon.
Nice. Where's Marshall, Texas? I've never heard of Marshall, Texas.
Marshall, Texas. It's a little outside of San Antonio.
Got it.
I think it's a little north.
All right, Ralph. Thank you so much for this chat, brother. The pizzas obviously were amazing. What was it called? Puccia?
The Puccia.
Puccia.
The Fupa.
Puccia was fantastic, brother.
Fupa's good too, dog. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ralph, we got to taste your pizzas. We got to hear about your coffee. We haven't tasted your coffee. I'm excited for that, though. Yeah. Anything else that you want to tell our viewers here?
Yeah, so, I mean, I know I'm going to hop back on this side pretty soon, but I'm going to be in your seat next week because I want your story, and Mike's story. And we're going to explain Goldwave and what Goldwave is all about. And then I'll be back over here pretty soon. And I want to break down the as above, so below and manifesting why I'm the way I am. I think that's going to be a really good one. And we'll go into that with a really good drink and a signature drink for that one too. And we'll see how it goes from here on out, okay?
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Let us know what you like. Follow us because we got a lot more conversations to bring you guys. Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.